think bright lipstick is not for you, keep watching because you probably can look amazing with bright lipstick. Many years ago, I was about to participate in one TV show and they had local makeup artists. Before she did my makeup, she asked me, "Are you a lip girl or eye girl?" I asked her, "What does it mean?" "Well, do you prefer eye makeup more and keep your lips pale, or do you prefer lip makeup more?" I said, "I think I'm an eye girl." I had very chubby cheeks when I was younger. I still have them, but when I was a teenager, there was much more. And I always felt like those bright lips just accentuate those cheeks. I've had this label in my head for many years, actually, that I can't wear bright lipsticks. And I was only wearing big eye makeup look. Until I started this YouTube channel and I started transforming my face into different celebrities, including Marilyn Monroe. That was my first video on this channel, and it's still here. And I literally had to draw a new face on my face. I was trying to follow each line, and I did so many faces on my face. So I really started to look wider in the subject of beauty. And I have my own viewpoint on bright lipsticks and how to make them work for everyone. And I realized that there are actually a lot of myths in this subject. I have my own vision and my own analysis. I'm not gonna talk about dark lipsticks. It is a separate subject. We'll talk about classic red color. Let's talk about some myth in this subject. Myth number 1, thin lips don't look good with red lipstick, and many women who have thin lips avoid to wear any bright lipstick. Yes and no. It's connected to thin lips, but not directly, because there are loads of examples how thin lips look gorgeous with red lipstick. So let's keep it for later. Myth number 2, short mouth. So I've heard some people say that if you have short mouth, meaning that your mouth stops somewhere here. Bebe Rexha, for example, or Florence Pugh, they have short mouth. So I've heard that women with short mouth don't look good with bright lipstick. Some people say that, on contrary, long mouth is not looking good with red lipstick. Again, I disagree with that. It's not about the length of your mouth. Cameron Diaz and Julia Roberts, they have wide mouth. Now, myth number 3, the color is wrong. So many people say that this type of a red color is very warm color, so it looks bad for people with blue eyes or pink skin and cool hair tone. And again, I disagree with that. First of all, this whole system of 12 season color analysis is not the most important thing when we talk about beauty. There's a loads of examples when people break the color rules and they look actually better than people who don't break the color rules. So let's keep colors in mind, but let's not put it to the pedestal. It's not the most important thing. And myth number 4, injected lips look great with any colored lipstick. So many women inject their lips to be able to wear any kind of a lipstick, whether it's light or dark. And we're gonna talk about this very soon. Now let's reveal some of the truths behind 2 first myths. Thin lips can't wear bright lipstick, so you can see amazing examples where they can. And myth number 2, that short mouth can't wear bright lipstick. And again, we can see beautiful examples that it can. So if it has nothing to do with size of your lips, then what is it that some women still don't like it? There are several characteristics of your facial features that can influence on that. First one is how tensed your lips look. As we age, our lips look slightly smaller, but it's not that they're shrinking in size. They're actually just getting more tensed, and we tend to kind of roll them inwards slightly. So they don't look like they're rolled outwards. It looks like we're squeezing them slightly. Looks like that. And we're actually forgetting to relax our lips, and many women, just due to stress, due to work, or they are doing something, thinking about something, we even forget that we keep our mouth tensed like this. I think we should be more aware about just relaxing our mouth. And what does tensed mouth do? First of all, the appearance of lips become shorter, mouth becomes less plump, and also sometimes we have these marionette lines and downturned corners of our lips. And again, here many things depend on the rest of your face, because there are women whose mouth is downturned by nature. It looks very beautiful. It gives such a character to your face. So I would never cut those muscles like some women do. They cut those bottom muscles to have this eternal smile. Their mouth is always slightly turned upwards. It only can create problems when, first of all, your lips get way too tensed and they look like that. Also, when the rest of your face is swollen and you have these downward lines on the rest of your face, if you have downwards brows, if you have droopy eyes, everything kind of gets slightly heavy. And I'm not talking about age now, For example, my face now looks much more plumped and awake than it was when I was a teenager. When I was 15, 16, all my face was so swollen that all the features of my face were down. So I had to actually lift it up with makeup, and as I started aging, I started looking better and better and better. And now I'm 40 years old, and I feel like I look much better than I looked in my 20s. So I'm pretty happy about this. I'm also doing this soft massage to drain the lymph. And you can always lift your brows and your eyes with your makeup. So what I mean is that when everything is downturned, of course it can exaggerate your downturned mouth. But if your lips have natural shape of downturned mouth, and at the same time you have slightly uplifted eyes or normal eyes or brows, normal cheekbones, is gonna be very beautiful element for your look. So I would not do anything with the shape of the mouth. But let's say you don't have downturned mouth corners. Let's say you have just very regular lip shape, but you still don't like it. It could be also due to the placement of your mouth. Your mouth might be placed slightly higher on your lower third of your face, slightly closer to your nose. If we divide our face to 3 parts, from the hairline to the brows, from the brows to the tip of our nose, from the tip of our nose to the end of our chin. So our mouth is located in the lower part of our face. So that can be located whether in the center of that part or slightly higher. So when it's slightly higher, even women with smaller chins might feel like their chin and jawline looks bigger when they put on red lipstick, because red lipstick is a very bright accented color and it's very visible. So your lips look like an object on your face. They don't blend with the rest of your face anymore. So the problem some women might have is that their mouth is just placed too high, or it placed normal, but by nature they have quite massive jawline here or elongated chin. These women also might feel like bright lipsticks don't work for them, because that can accentuate that they have a little bit more here proportionately to the rest of their face. There are actresses who don't like red lipstick on themselves, and probably that's one of the reasons. For example, Jennifer Aniston, she has quite tensed lips by nature. Even when she was younger, she has this very kind of healthy and strong facial musculature, I would say. So her lips are also strong. They're not very plump, but they're not super thin either. They're just strong looking, straight looking, and her chin and jawline look quite strong. So she doesn't like to accentuate that area. So how can we fix it? There's actually a couple of quite easy tricks. All you need to do is roll out your lips slightly. And to do that, we normally lack volume in the center of the bottom lip. So all you gotta do is add volume under your bottom lip in the center. Slightly overdraw your lip, 1 or even 2 millimeters sometimes. The majority of women, their bottom lip kind of has this shadow anyway. So if you put any lipstick or lip pencil there, nobody's gonna see that because that part is in the shadow slightly. So that's gonna look like an additional shadow. It's gonna look like your lip just rolls down there more. So what it does, it shrinks your chin and jawline in general. It plumps your lip without injections. No, it doesn't look cheap or weird or strange or too overdrawn, because you're not overdrawing it too much. You're just adding a little bit to correct the plumpness. Another thing that many women, I'm noticing this mostly on mature women, they for some reason underline their lips, especially with bright lipsticks. That looks like your mouth is more tensed than it actually is, and that your lips are much thinner than they actually are. You still have this border of your lips that is coming forward, the most forward part of your lips. So it's safe to go slightly above it, still 1 millimeter above your top and the bottom lip. It's still safe to do that, especially with bright lipsticks. It's your natural lip shape. You're just lining all of your lips, not just inside. Another thing that this trick will do, it lowers the middle part of your lip. So automatically the outer corners going up, because everything is codependent. So by changing one little thing, you can actually change your whole face. So your mouth will look automatically more uplifted, more rolled outwards. Your lips will look more pouty, and they will occupy more space space on the lower part of your face. Now, if you have wide lower part of your face, let's say you have bigger jawline, you can always outline your lips slightly lower here as well. If you have really visible downturned sides of your mouth, you can always add a little bit of lipstick just above the side of your mouth here. It's gonna create even more pouty effect, even more opened. Of course, it's much better if you use matte lipstick. That is my favorite classic red color. It's Maybelline Matte Ink, and it stays on your lips whole day. It's quite bright, but you can actually apply it with a brush, and it's gonna have this beautiful daytime red lips, not as intense. What I like about it, it looks great during the day too, on any skin tone. And the color is 118 Dancer. It's on me now. Lisa Eldridge, she's one of my favorite makeup artists. She actually is doing that trick all the time on her lips. Her lips are quite plump, but she has slightly bigger chin here. So her lips are placed slightly higher on the lower part. She's adding a little bit of color right there in the center under her bottom lip. This way she shrinks that space of her chin. She places her mouth slightly lower, and she makes everything a bit more proportional. She probably doesn't have to do that with more nude lipsticks, but bright lipsticks, as I said, they just attract more attention. They look like an object on your face. Another thing, some say that if you have big Filtrum and you're applying bright red lipstick, you look a little bit older than your age. Filtrum is the space between the end of your nose and the beginning of your top lip. Yes and no. I think if you have this natural structure of your face, and let's say you have very short nose, or your mouth just is placed lower on your bottom part of your face, I think that's not a problem. You can have this long Filtrum and look amazing. Why some women might feel like it's making them look old? I think it's because, as I said, as we age, we tense our lips. So that might look slightly like that. So our lips can look slightly more squeezed and tensed when we apply bright lipsticks on them, unfortunately. So again, we should just roll it upwards. You can always overdraw your top lip a little bit. If you don't want to overdraw your bottom lip, and let's say you only have a problem with your top lip, that's fine. And your top lip can be even slightly bigger than your bottom lip, and it still can look very pretty. I call it French lips for some reason, when the upper lip is bigger than your bottom lip. I feel like French language requires your top lip muscles work a little bit more. Like, Jeux enfants tu. Their top lip is always slightly more tense, so I feel like it by nature is slightly more rolled outwards, if I can say so. Brigitte Bardot, sometimes she would overdraw both of her lips, same, but sometimes just top lip, and it looks super cute. Now let's talk about myth number 3, that you should choose the right red for you. After observing thousands of pictures of women with red lips, here's what I think. And again, it's just my personal viewpoint, but I don't believe in this anymore. I think any woman looks stunning with classic red. So this is classic red color. It's neutral. Also, there's scientifically proven fact just recently that undertones on the skin don't exist. And I'm still just going very deep into the subject. I'm not ready yet to make a video about this. Obviously, yes, there are women whose coloration just contains a bit more orange and yellow tones. And yes, they might look slightly weird with something extremely cool, extremely on the other spectrum, like this pink cool lipstick. Of course, that looks far from her. If we take a woman with obviously cool complexion, blue eyes, skin with pink or bluish undertone, cool toned hair, okay, she's still gonna look gorgeous with this color. Maybe if she goes for more orange, very, very warm color, that would be very bright, she would go during the day. She would not wear any makeup and many additional things that might look a little bit off on her. But this one looks great on everyone. If we add a little bit of blue to this red, it's gonna be blue red. And there's still so many nuances, because you can put just 1 drop of blue, it's gonna be just a little bit blue red. You can put there 5 drops of blue, so it's not red anymore. And still it can look great on majority of women with warm or cool complexion. And then you can ask me, if in my viewpoint the tone of red doesn't matter, then what matters? This color is very clear, and that is a very bright accent on your face, because this color doesn't exist in our nature. So you can't find a body on planet Earth, at least, who would have a part of their body naturally that red. It is already artificial color. So it doesn't have to blend with your features. It will stand out on anyone. And as far as its very accented color, especially depends on how you apply it, it's very important that your skin is very even color. Skin can have redness here and there. Very often under our nose or even around the mouth. So with this lipstick, a woman can look slightly sick. It can really accentuate that redness and imperfections on their face, on our faces. Unfortunately, there are still women, especially women with naturally darker skin, who I noticed that they don't have to wear foundation that often. They can go just with that red lips just fine. But I feel like the lighter your skin is, the more imperfections and discolorations you can see on your skin, and that will interfere with that bright red. It's gonna accentuate it all. So in my viewpoint, it's very important at least to make your skin even color with foundation or tinted moisturizer or something like that, especially around your mouth area. And of course your brows have to be done, your hair, just perfect yourself a little bit. And in my viewpoint, even lashes are not necessary to wear red lipstick. It's gonna be like a red lips in a French way. Sometimes I can see some French women photos when they don't even apply any mascara or very little, so their eyes would almost look empty, and they have beautifully made brows, always very nice fresh skin. Doesn't have to be thick layer of foundation, just a little bit would be fine, just to erase that redness, especially around the mouth area, and red lips, and they're good to go. And there are some faces who look good with bright eyes, bright lips. In my viewpoint, it just depends on your bone structure and on many other factors. And now let's talk about the last myth, that any lipstick looks good on injected lips. And here I have my very personal viewpoint. I'm not saying it's true. No lipstick looks good on over-injected lips. If people can see that your lips are actually injected, I don't think there's any lipstick that looks good on these lips, because there's a big risk to look sick and swollen in this area, because we can kind of perceive that this is not your own plumpness, and especially that is very visible on women with more chiseled cheekbones and more bone and skin type of faces. We can kind of see that if she doesn't have enough fat and soft flesh everywhere on the rest of her face and on her body, then she just can't possibly have this just in this area, just one big soft puffed area. So we can predict that this is injected, and it sometimes feels uncomfortable, as if it's just gonna explode any moment. I'm not against lip injections. I can see that some women just want to inject a little bit just to correct some proportions of their faces, but in many cases it's just not visible. But if it's obviously over injected, I think this is when nothing will work, until it's just at least get smaller. Alright, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you love red lipstick or you never wear that, or you feel like it's just way too bright for you, or you tried everything and nothing works, or you rock it or you love it. And you can always just try my tips and see how it goes. Any beauty questions that you have, please ask me in the comments. Very soon I have my beauty course. We're gonna make a true professional out of you. It's gonna be many courses eventually. We're gonna start from the basic course, and then we're gonna go deeper and deeper into that subject. So stay tuned. As soon as it's ready, I'm gonna have the links under each video and in the comment section too, so you won't be able to miss it. Thank you. Bye bye.